taskbar. That's the reminder that I'm talking. So here we go. We're going to do this carefully and try not to fuck up. I have to take my hand off of my mouse if I'm going to talk. That's what I have to do. Oh, I hate this. Okay. Hi. Hello, everybody. I've already asked how everyone is tonight. Does anyone have any news or things that they want to float or talk about or address before game begins? This can be questions about the game. This can be announcements about whether what your personal life has to do with the game. Anything that we should talk about before we get into character and start playing.
I mean, other than people keep threatening to start other threads and then not starting them, I've got nothing to say. I'm ready to go.
I feel called out, but you know what? Yeah.
Just politely.
I think that is as polite as you should be with that. It's actually been on my mind lately, threads and such. Following tonight's session, I do plan to be in a place where we can have general threads for Canons. And I will follow up with that at the end of game, why that is. So, to that end, if there are no further announcements to make, I'll save my announcements for the end of game, which is like, this is what I want to adopt. Baldur's Gate has some really good ideas. What do you guys think? That kind of shit. We'll get down to that later. For now, A-Sides Ambient is coming off, and we are going to pop into a theme. Autumn Prince. There we go. That's his music. So, it's been a hot minute. We haven't played in a while. If folks would like to provide their own recaps, they may do so now. Otherwise, I will toss in to the best of my memory what has happened last game. I'm going to have a sippy. Y'all can take a moment to collect and speak.
You made friends with the Master of Ceremonies.
Sure did. We're going to invent Halloween. Bones is going to invent Halloween. And drag everyone else along for the ride.
Well, it's less that Bones is going to invent Halloween and more Bones is going to revive Halloween from the dead. Which is very
Just fulfilling a Halloween prophecy.
Is Halloween a paradox? Does Halloween invent and subsequently kill itself in an endless cycle?
It lives, it dies, it lives again. Why do you think the spirit of Halloween's only around once a year? Inhabiting the bones of dead strip malls.
A Sararak kind of fucked shit up. I mean, it used to be widely known, and then it kind of fell off. Some people still partially celebrate it in, Mobius, just not under the same premise, maybe. But now we're gonna make people remember, and it's gonna be fun. Especially with Bones bonesing it up.
Bonesing it up. Sam, just a quick note. Your mic appears to be doing something funky. It went from being really good to really not so good.
Is it better now?
Yeah. Got wire issues?
Yeah, sometimes my mute switch for my headset gets bumped and gets flaky. I just had to force it down. And I have to make sure I'm really holding down my push talk as of just in case.
Manual mute switches. They're a bitch. Alright. Yep, so that did happen last session. Some other shit went down too.
We learned that the Master of Ceremonies is only half of a whole person.
We found out as mad as he is, there is genuinely something more maddening in the Astral Sea? Question mark?
Yeah, the endless pitch black that is attempting to swallow the Feywild, and that Bones is definitely now responsible for fixing, and that's not overwhelming her at all.
So long as you have finger guns, you have the ability to resist.
And that's not even taking into account the fact that in that vast darkness, we were hurtling towards a giant sphere that was a fucking eye. Roar didn't see the eye. Bones saw the eye. Roar just said, fuck it. No, gotta get away. I saw spheres coming this way. We're not in a good spot. Must go back. Must go back. Go, go, go.
Absolutely. And not to metagame Pigeon Cuckoo, but I think that would be like a cool moment for like Roar to be like, it was the orb. It was Eric's machine. And then Bones be like, no, it was a fucking eye. Consider your options when threads are available to open. Not to force anyone's hand or anything.
Well, I did get an insight check and recognize that it was a different black orb than the one that I had to help rescue, help rescue Karn's spirit from, as well as be rescued from by... Fuck, I forgot her name. Emissary of the Raven Queen.
Puriel.
Curiel, there we go, thank you.
Right, thank you for that note, because I had indeed forgotten that moment. That's why I keep you guys around for recaps. You're better at it than I am.
Bones, using her magical horn of summoning, got he to show up, and the forlorn lovers got to chat and have a slight, I don't know what you want to call that. They talked.
They hashed it out.
And he was forced to see that the Master of Ceremonies was having a really hard time with his area, and that it was falling apart, and that they needed help, and that his approach to sealing people off from reality of their world was not helping, and seemingly coaxed more out of them, but there was no kissy-kissy.
No kissy-kissy. And I can't wait for this group of intellectuals of ours to do like a case study on these personalities, because there's a lot to unpack there. But pretty apt description of the scenario. Very good take. Does anyone have anything else to add?
I know Karn asked the Master of Ceremonies about the bodies made for the Koboloi spirits. I think he gave something to Roar about it, or
yes, I believe Roar wrote down the notes about a ritual, a means to bind a shade, to bind a spirit to a body.
Yep, Roar had definitely written that down. It is definitely among his notes of, oh my fucking god, I really shouldn't try this, but it's Feywild bullshit, and I really think I need to try it.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yep, and that's why he has Eldritch Blast now.
And that's why he has Eldritch Blast. Let's see if the next attempt will in fact kill him. I'm trying, I really am.
Hubris will take him sometime. Maybe not today or tomorrow, but eventually.
Eventually. In time, the bones win. Excellent, excellent, excellent. What other notes are standout? Were there any shooting stars from last session? Any standout moments that really stuck to you?
He's got a voice, but
Yes.
that yet.
Leah keeps hearing an intrusive thought. Something that seemingly wants to help, but cannot in the state, the form that it's currently in. We'll see how that shakes out. Okay. Is that turn undead?
Maybe. That's. I think it's supposed to be Professor Fate, so it's probably not Turn Undead. Dr. Fate, sorry, yeah.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
the conclusion and everything, Raven was so impressed with the party's handling of just everything that he did tell Bones that he was impressed and would have them talk to his boss, so his lady.
Entreating upon the party to make a quick visit to the Raven, to the Robin. Yes, it was very important for Raven to get an agreement on that, so that the party may know the plight of this entity. That's a good point of any to jump back into game, since it does seem to be the pressing thing that's happening. One moment, guys.
Speaking of pressing things?
Pressing things. A pressing matter, a pressing moment, a thing that is... Nope. A thing that is currently happening. So, are there any objections to jumping into game?
Let's do this.
Alright, thank you guys for the recap so much as we dive back into our session. So, at the end of last game, the Autumn Prince had summoned a coach of a kind, made of tree bark and dead leaves and just glowing, mystical, arcane, fey magic. Without a horse to draw it, he sits at the pilot, the rider, the coach's seat,
Coachman?
with the coachman's seat, holding upon reins of what appears to be shimmering rope made from light itself as you file in. As you ride through and away from the domain of Harrowed Hills, away from the towns and into the wildlands, you see images of the world pass you by in a blur. Glimmers of the sights and sounds that you have seen along your travels. And you understand that your transportation is magical. You do have a few minutes, a few moments perhaps, to speak among yourselves, take it in, to enjoy the ride if you so choose. The Autumn Prince, he remains quiet as he looks ahead, his golden eyes, pupilless as they are, difficult to really... Well, they're somewhat inscrutable, but his face is forward. His expression is that same kind of mellow, half-forlorn look that he just wears. He's got sad boy energy. That just seems to be his general state of being. And if you so choose, your travel is in amicable silence. What is the party up to?
Is this an enclosed coach?
I would say that it's more like a wagon. You would be able to speak to any other person, whether they're sitting at the front or the back. Let me ask you, do the players have preferred privacy?
Karn is largely ambivalent. If it's a wagon type, then he's going to be sitting on the back, just kind of like legs dangling, spear across his knees.
I like the image. It's rustic. Let's go with it. It's an open-backed wagon.
Bones is sitting crisscross applesauce and compartmentalizing quickly.
Compartmentalizing quickly. Bones, while you are compartmentalizing, are you simply trying to tuck the information away so you can process it, or are you trying to make sense of it?
Make sense of it for about half the trip and then just tuck it away as an unfinished puzzle.
Is there any information that you think Bones could presumably glean from this? Is there a check that you would like to make for specific information?
I think Bones mostly wants to know, like, where the fuck they were and how quickly that is expanding. But I'm not sure that's information she could glean.
No, but it is information that you could perhaps ask of your host. Whether you do that in privacy or during your travel, that's up to you. But you
He-
understand with the conversation between the Autumn Prince and the Master of Ceremonies that the Prince knows what this is and has turned his eyes away from ugliness.
Yeah, I'm gonna go sit next to he.
All right, you climb up toward the coach seat. You take a seat next to the prince. He does not turn to address you, but there is a flick in his floppy Lapran ears. I think he would speak aloud. Summer, how pleasant of you to join me. I would hand you the reins, but I am afraid they are from my hands alone.
That's fine, I'm not a very good driver.
I would be hard-pressed to believe there is much you could not accomplish that you put your mind to.
Oh, there's plenty. Biff tried to teach me how to meditate once. It didn't go well.
He chuckles.
How quickly is that expanding?
He grows a little bit, not stiff, but there's a steeliness to his brows. The expression on his face goes from that forlorn melancholy to something a little more focused. Time is a difficult thing to quantify. It is slow. Dreadfully slow. But it is persistent. I have called upon the various scholars, those who study such things, the arts, the rules and the laws in this place of chaos. They have differing opinions. They have many opinions. The prevailing idea is that when that old bastard Acererak did what he did, it lanced us out of where we rightfully belong. And now we float somewhere neither here nor there. Like an island in a caustic sea, our shores dissolve. But we are defiant folk. Little by little we fight against the tide of erosion. We cast our lines, seeking to build bridges from our isolation to sturdier shores. You have proven one such bridge can be made sturdy. I am cautiously optimistic. Some paths are reopening. Jack is not wrong. More can be done.
What lands have you reconnected with so far?
There's a faint shrug as he glances toward you. The place we are closest to. Your neck of the woods, your Tekhan. The place where the green thrives. Rugged and wild. Primal. Primordial. Even now, our connection to that force makes us a bit more solid, a bit more real. There are tales of echoes. Some who carry within rumors, those stories, glances, visions of other lands. Some would say that Fable-Rise is not far from here, only through the walls of thorns, past a gauntlet of certain death. Perhaps it could be reached. And where we head toward now, our destination, I have heard tale that Robin can hear the laughter at the shores of Strazaland. A land far removed within the summer court. Yet even her mighty winds cannot bear to deliver her there.
DM, my notes are loading slow. Which land is the Pale Woman in? Pale Lady? Ashen Woman?
The Ashen Woman she is known to have, she is within one of the autumn domains. So a place similar to Harvest. But as the Autumn Princes explained, you guys are kind of like in a microcosm, a chunk of the Feywild that's been removed from the rest. I think it would occur to you that when Jack refers to himself as, half of a man, that there's the other half of him elsewhere. There is likely to be the other half of Harrowed Hills out there somewhere. You'd be likely to find her in one such area if you had the means to get there.
I know that the Pale Lady lives.
He lifts his head a little bit and his ears kind of fold back as he again glances to you before looking to the road. I would be hard-pressed to believe that something such as the lancing of our lands would give her cause to perish. I'm not surprised that she is still existing out there.
Though she thinks you're gone.
A wry smile crosses his lips. I am most certain she would enjoy the prospect of forgetting me. You see a twinkle of mischief in his eye.
She has my father.
That his brows begin to furrow. He looks you over once more. He turns his attention to the road. And I'm going to have him make a check.
Is it a deception check?
No,
Insight.
It looks as though he is puzzling something over as this information is made known to him. And as you travel, you see that the environs around you, the fall leaves begin to brighten and grow greener. The dirt and loamy earth gives way to a sandier kind of texture as green grass begins to emerge from what was dead leaves. As though transitioning not through an environment, but through season. And he, after considering your words, releases the reins on the coach. The reins stay levitating in place as though he were holding them as he folds his arms and rubs his chin. Why ever would the Ashen Woman have your father? How was it that you came into these lands? With the word nobility upon your soul.
Questions I'm still trying to find an answer to.
I wonder.
All I know is that he broke a pact.
I see. If I were to take a guess, I would surmise that through this pact he'll further gain something. And through breaking it, he was made forfeit. Yet that which he obtained would then be bestowed upon next of kin. I do believe you are his inheritor. It explains a great deal, but asks so many more questions. Why here of all places? Why now? I shall rack my brain and puzzle more upon this.
I have a deal to get me to hell, so I can look at the pact myself.
Ambitious and connected. There are a great many contracts among the devils down there. I would beg you to take care, keep your eyes open, and exploit any opportunity you find available to you. We are nearly there. As he says that we are nearly there, you see the trees grow thick. The grass grows tall and wet. You all can smell the scent of running water, of ponds and streams and moss and fresh growth. Raven, this is all known to you. This is home for you. While Bones and the other prince are discussing matters, is there anything else that anyone is doing?
Raven's listening in. He's like trying to not be obvious about the fact that he's listening in, but he's
Roar is looking over the ritual again and again and again to make sure that he's got it properly in his mind in order to efficiently work on testing out the ritual once they are back on Tikal.
Certainly. Roar, as far as your ritual goes, you see that there are a number of rare components and ingredients necessary. It's all very esoteric and eldritch, seemingly unrelated but symbolic items. Very common among the wizarding world. The ritual itself looks as though it would take some time to happen. It's not your run-of-the-mill 10 minutes in Cassadale. This will take a day to cast.
Yep, that's the entire reason he's just constantly looking it over and over again, because a day cast is a day cast. He can do it. It's not trouble, but it's just something that he's like putting all his effort and time into making sure he knows what he's got to do so he doesn't fuck it up.
Got it. So you study the ritual. The Master of Ceremonies is kind of mad, so some of the footnotes there are scrawling scribbles that make some sense. Anyone else?
Just listening in a bit and keep an eye out in the area.
Gotcha.
I'm just kind of mulling my own thoughts over.
Okay, need just a moment. Hey, who's got to reload? This guy. So, eventually the coach comes to a slow roll, and finally to a stop. We are a clearing in these greener woods. As you all begin to disembark, Raven, you know that you are at the foot of the glade, the place where your lady resides. I would assume that Raven, being an emissary of sorts, would do the emissary thing.
Yes, we would move them forward. There are stones laid out. Now, I take great care of this area. I'll have to ask y'all to walk on the stone. You, Autumn Prince, sir, you can walk as wherever you want to, of course.
The Autumn Prince glances at you and kind of chuckles, nodding. And I do appreciate the invitation, good Raven. Your meeting with your mistress. Would you prefer a modicum of discretion, or am I invited to partake?
Good sir, you seem to know a great deal, a lot about what's going on. If my unsolicited listening in on your conversation suggests, I would be honored, and I am sure she would too, if you were to come with.
Very well. And I shall attend. Autumn Prince dismounts from the coach as it evaporates into a wall of twirling leaves. As you move forward and lead the party toward the domain of your mistress. Alright. So, you begin to walk forward past the stones and deeper into this, what appears to be a structure, a small, a temple, a city. It's overgrown so much, and so retaken by the woods, by the vines, by the trees, that you all can see stonework, broken pillars, broken arches, broken walls, and broken paths, half absorbed and retaken by the wild. The path that Raven leads you to a set of stairs, arched as they are, that lead into a shallow pool of water, covered in lily pads and water flowers of all manner of color. As Raven walks forward, you see his talons only sink slightly into the water as it grows deeper and deeper. Soon it appears as though he is walking upon a wet mirror and not a pond. And you all follow, I presume.
Yep.
Excellent. Google Maps. Bones. I just need a quick wisdom save from you. As you look down upon falling Raven and see that this pool of glassy water descends deeper and...
Oh, yeah. That feels very appropriate.
First of the
Fuck.
night.
No. Nope. Karn, can I have a ride? Can I have a ride, please?
I move quickly behind her, and I use shape water cantrip to freeze the water beneath her feet.
Nope, not enough. I'm gonna climb Karn.
You climb Karn.
Okay.
Karn, you know fear when you see it. She is very much shaken. As you guys continue forward, you see as the prince follows you, his stateliness and his glow begins to diminish slightly. Just as it had when meeting the master of ceremonies on his own turf.
Bones isn't looking anymore. She is decided to just be. She's like just riding on Karn's shoulders and has her head like straight up in his cloak. Like, nope, not happening.
Karn is staring down into the watery abyss as he moves forward.
Karn, as you look down, it is glassy and it is black at the bottom of this pool, this fountain. But the water is glassy and still and beautiful. But also full of terrible mysteries down below, perhaps.
The guy would like this place.
You're not wrong. Let's see.
He's also been very stoic about Bones just clambering up onto his shoulders and tucking herself into his cloak. He's just like, all right, this is happening.
So, as you all travel, you begin to notice the sight of birds and trees. A great manner of tweets and twitters and squawks greet you with revelry. Bones, focused as you are, you can't tell if they are mocking or exalting you. But there are the sounds of birds chirping, squawking, and merrymaking, perhaps, as you approach a ancient-looking site, what appears to be, by all accounts, a place of ceremony or celebration. You see 3 grand doors carved with runes and etchings and lined with gold. Since you are actively not having your head in a cloak roaring to speak Sylvan, you do see that there are etchings in Sylvan. Things that say, you get snippets of words like, in friendship we walk, welcome and exalt, behold, grandeur. Drumming up, hyping up something that is beyond these doors that don't appear to have moved for eons, overgrown with moss as they are. 2 enormous and statuesque geese sit on 2 platforms flanking the main, largest of the doors. Each of them bears a sword of mithril between their toothed beaks. Bills? Beaks. They look upon you with, well, they're geese, so dissatisfaction comes to mind. Bills, thank you. As Raven, you move ahead. They do not let down their guard, but their focus does turn to you.
Mighty gods, you know me well as Raven of the Spring. I bring with me you and the change bringers to speak with Robin of the Spring.
As you petition, the guards turn to you, they watch you, and they listen for a moment, giving a pregnant pause to your words. We recognize Raven and his lordship, the Autumn Prince. You may speak. As they stab their blades into the ground. As they do so, there is a flutter of wings, drawing your attention above them. Sitting upon the gnarled, deep roots of the overgrown trees above appears to be a tiny little robin. She wears a ruffle about her neck and a rather elegant hat. Robin flutters down, landing before the steps leading to you and your party.
Raven takes off his hat and kneels. The lady Robin. These fine people here I have seen to be of great measure, great prowess in their ability to fight and think. I would present them to you, that perhaps they can help you in your own predicament. And of course, I present to you the Autumn Prince, he who also has knowledge of the goings on in this place. I brought them to you in hopes that your issue is resolved in the best manner possible.
Robin looks upon you and inclines her head. Beloved Raven, I thank you for your deed, for rounding up these change-bringers and inviting our host and friend, the Autumn Prince, to our domain. I see you have chosen well, as were their hearts not pure, the fountain would surely have swallowed them, so I must commend you. I will, however, ask to please speak freely. Have you recovered Alicorn? Is that which belongs to you back right where it rightfully should be?
He stands and, with his hat back on, brings out from under his poncho Alicorn. Indeed it is. It is with the help of these change makers that Alicorn is back in our possession.
Most excellent. I am relieved. Thank you for this excellent news. She looks past you and toward your companions. Please, if you should like, approach. Shouting is rather unbecoming of all of us, I think. As she says that, the Autumn Prince kind of rears. He maintains the rear of the group and follows only as far as the slowest of the group. He does bow and incline his head. Hearty thanks for a warm welcome, my lady. I shall try to keep my presence brief within your domain. I would not interrupt you and yours. Robin just seems to smile as she inclines her head. And you step forward. Presumably.
Wait. I'm on Karn, so...
You are on Karn. Let me see. I actually can make it so that you follow him. I think you're set to follow now. If Karn moves, you should move too. I love that. Excellent. Simply move your token if you'd like to dismount. Robin approaches, taking a few steps down the slopes, standing between her two flank guards.
We're going to move up just a little bit. To mostly give the others clearance to move closer and indeed not shout.
Changebringers all. As I understand it, you are known to be rule breakers and do-gooders of the most entertaining variety. A number of stories have reached me here in my sanctum. How do I say this? Let us begin with where you are. You stand before the doors to Astrazla. It is a good place. It is the land of plenty. Residing within the summer domain, it is a place where all manner of creatures of the Fey and Middle realms would rather prefer to be. It is the place of trade, of music and art. It is the end of my migration to inevitably land in Astrazlan, to bring spring to summer, where then my migration ends. As the emissary of spring, it is my compulsion to perform a cycle, to travel through autumn, through winter, spring, and summer, to promote the very concept of life, death, and rebirth. My many duties include the inspiration of bards of all kinds, to bring hope to the sorrowful, to embolden the oppressed, and to spread the seeds of change. And she looks toward the Autumn Prince. I have long been deprived of this singular role. Stagnation and sedentarism, it is antithetical to my existence. To remain here in this land of beauty and to share in the hospitality of the Autumn Prince is physically uncomfortable for me. It stymies my power and has brought me to a place of desperation. As luck would have it, it seems you have all appeared as I have approached the end of my rope. Would you hear my plea?
Could we possibly hear your plea on land? Maybe.
She shifts to the side, as though inviting you to stand upon the stone staircase with her. Please, if you are uncomfortable, I know well what discomfort is. For my sake, do not put yourself out.
Oh yeah. Bones will dismount when dry ground is within leaping distance. And she's a tabaxi, so leaping distance is pretty liberal.
If you choose to leap, both geese flap their wings and grab their swords. Halt! Halt!
Hold now. Bones is a feisty one, but she's a good one now.
Please stand down, my guards, my friends. I know it has been a boring few aeons, but we do not have to shed blood today. These are friends. Surely you know what friends are?
No, not really.
Yes, geese, right. She inches away from you, if only to placate her guards. Bones, you find yourself in the presence of a somewhat diminutive little robin, dressed like a noble.
A bow, now that I can be unhidden and the water is far away.
She bows and trills. And as you approach, so does the Autumn Prince to take up the rear. He stands by Gabriel, simply observing from a distance.
Raven's going to, stealthily, motion for the others to move up a little bit. They don't have to be so far away.
So, the plea then. She glances toward the great stone doors. Although gifted with flight, I am not free. Though I could, perhaps, chance the thorns and choking vines beyond and sail across the silent sea. I know that to do so would be death, even if I should try. Trapped as I am, as time continues, my power and presence will diminish until I am no more. Though I cannot say how long this will take, it is an inevitability. To stay will surely mean my end. However, you provide an opportunity where perhaps death is not an option, or is not the only option. You possess the means to return from where you came from, a path. So I would presume. I should not, but shall, ask to be brought along. Though I am grateful of the Autumn Prince, and I admire him tremendously, I know all too well the limits that he is working. Being pulled from all sides, looked upon for answers where no good options exist. He is locked and root, bound to the tavern in the tree. And in a way, symbolically, we are kin. Prisoners of our situation. Though beautiful and charming, I know a gilded cage when I see one. I would like to take the burden of hosting me off of his plate and take my chances with change. Would you aid me in this incredibly risky chance?
So you want us to take us with you? Or sorry, you want us to take you with us?
To put it simply, yes. As a creature of thought and spirit, I could, with your permission, reside among one of you. I would be helpless, of course, subject to the whims of magic and the whims of my host. But the fountain did not swallow you. I know you all to be good. I know that you would not wrong me if you chose to take me on as your burden. Upon returning to the prime material plane, should I survive the trip, I would repay you in any way I can.
Okay. What do you mean by take on the burden?
I would inhabit one of you. I know not what may occur attempting to smuggle a creature like myself through the thorns and through the paths. It may be a painful arrangement. Maybe spiritually taxing. Or I may simply fizzle out of existence. It's little to no fanfare. There is risk, but I know not the extent of which.
This one is taken, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was gonna say you already have a hitchhiker.
Yeah.
Not very living compared to others, but I'd be willing if no one else is.
I'm willing. I'm just curious about the length of the engagement.
Upon arrival, you would be able to essentially remove me from you. Whomever so takes on this task. It's a simple matter of saying, go, leave, fly, be free.
Would you be safe, though?
Within your domain? Yes. It is the transition that is dangerous.
Oh, okay, then that's fine. I'll take that on.
So, Raven, if it has not occurred to you, essentially, Robin is placing her her livelihood, her life, essentially, on this gamble, knowing full well that it could end badly for her. Just a quick, like, getting into your head, like, how does Raven react to that?
Raven actually, even though he thought that she was going to ask them to help open things up, not ride and leave. So he's actually pretty surprised and is quietly freaking out. He's mollified by the fact that it's this team, because they have indeed shown like the ability to think and get things done, and they're change bringers. This is kind of what they're known for, and the fact that Karn apparently has somebody else with him already, that's encouraging. But it's still putting Robin's life on the line. So all throughout the conversation, his eyes were like darting between those speaking. Had he like just proper lips, he would be chewing his bottom lip. But he's looking quite nervous.
So as you fidget and kind of move warily and with uncertainty, Robin inclines her head to Bones, as Bones has accepted, or offered at least. Both Bones and Roar have offered. And she turns her gaze to you, Raven, and there's like a sadness in her eyes. But it's that kind of half-smiling, resolute sadness. My dear keeper of the grounds, my dear bard and singer, my poet and laureate, long have you seen me suffer here. I can see the weight that this arrangement puts on you. And I can only apologize. To stay means my end. And to attempt to leave through any other means would be a purposeful nosedive into oblivion. I would ask that you continue to keep the grounds, whether my freedom is achieved or my end found.
Oh, Raven, I wish you wouldn't speak stuff like that. Oh, I'll absolutely take care of this place for you, no matter what happens.
I can think of no one better for the task. You have my thanks. And she turns to Bones and glances at Roar. Whether living by beating hearts and blood or living by magic and rune, you both are acceptable candidates. You are candidates all, save for the one who has a hitchhiker already. I know not if any would be a better choice. I will leave it for you to deliberate who best to take me on as their ward.
Roar, you're smarter than I am, and when we get back we have a lot of books to catalog. It'd be better if I'm the one that's incapacitated.
We wouldn't be incapacitated. We're just being hosts.
Oh, you don't have friends that's thinking that. It's perfectly fine. It won't be a problem. Plus, I'm not a whole. I don't have a whole soul anyways. I'm a heartless soul. So there's more room in me.
Okay, I'm not sure I agree with that logic, but I will cede it. And I'll motion to Roar.
As you motion to Roar, Robin takes wing and flutters over toward the Warforged, and attempts to perch on your shoulder.
I'll actually hold out my good hand, the one that was marked by Sirid the Kind, just so that she can land there first, since she inspires bards, and Roar was turned into a type of bard.
Kind of, sort of. The draconic spirits speak about your endeavors, it would seem. She lands upon it and looks you in your glowing green eyes and misshapen face and all, and inclines her head. Very well then, Changebringer. I would thank you for what it is I ask. I would beg of you that should things not work out, that you not grieve what is lost. To seek freedom is paramount and a worthy cause to fall for. She bows her head when you are ready.
I nod my head, and then I take a look around like, so, are you going to go into it now, or is it only just like we're about to go back?
She tilts her head. I am strongest now within my domain. Now may be the only chance to tip the odds in my favor.
All right.
And uncharacteristically, he'll take his bigger, clunkier hand, and he'll actually grab his chest and peel it open to reveal his caged heart, the golden caged aether stone that constitutes as his heart.
You expose the cradle that holds your heartstone, and Robin does not seem surprised or curious as she looks upon your heart. Her heart's a heart. She inclines her head. Then I shall be your ward, and you my shield.
There is no place safer.
I should hope so. I wish you luck. And with that, her body begins to glow, taking on a shimmering pale blue hue. As her body glows brighter and brighter, it shatters into tiny little white motes of brilliant light. They coalesce, twirl, and begin to congeal like little plates surrounding the tiny gaps in the cradle, forming into a pale, segmented, blue jewel-like shell. You can sense the presence of this entity in you as a warmth floods your body. You can sense a potential energy, a magic, just beyond the reach of your control. Like a weight or a battery, untapped inside of you. The raven, the robin, disappears from view, and the domain, the grass, the trees, all appear to grow a little bit duller. From behind the autumn prince, as though a breeze were falling from behind him toward the domain, you sense a chill. Bones, as you're kind of watching things happen and keeping an eye out for all things, as you are kind of terrified of the water and everything around here, you see a single dead leaf swirl and fall upon the glassy, deep fountain that your friends stand upon. Both of the enormous giant geese stand aside and plant their mithril blades into the ground, becoming slower and stiller, statuesque almost, as they watch the party.
Or even once Robin shattered, looked aghast and followed the moats. It gets like really close to roar. How do you feel? What's going on in there?
I feel fine. I can feel her presence. It's certainly new, but not unpleasant.
So she's all right, right? You can tell that, right?
I can sense a magic there that's not my own. It's still there now. So I must believe that she is fine.
And then I stop and I think in Sylvan.
Are you there? Can you hear me?
As you think and you form words and you try to communicate, you don't get words back. You get the faintest impulse of... You can't tell if it's sentient. You can't tell if it can form words, or if there's a barrier, or if it simply cannot translate feeling. But you do get a sensation of calm, a sense of an attempt at reassurance. There's definitely something there, but you quickly learn that it cannot fully communicate with you.
Then I will think in Sylvan.
Thank you. Rest.
And then I will look up and around. She is fine.
Alright.
Percy.
Give you number, take your words for it.
Why?
Oh goodness, I hope everything goes right after this.
He took it from us.
Well, I must say I wasn't quite expecting this turn of events, but what's done is done. And she makes it out of this. I can't do nothing but thank y'all.
I'll stand there for a while as the air grows a little colder, the sky a little dimmer, the grass a little duller. The Autumn Prince remains at the back of the group, watching, observing, a definite sadness in his eyes. His gaze finds its way to Roar, follows it to Raven, moves toward Bonds. I know not what will happen with the Lord of this domain absent. I think perhaps it may behoove us all to return you to where you belong. I believe there are things to be returned to denizens of my domain, friends to be made, rightful owners of belongings to have their things returned to. Shall we? Ian glances his head and begins to move, making his way back the way you had all come. Karn, do you pick up your cat?
I start to go. I take a few steps, pause, turn, return, and kneel down for Bones.
Yeah, Bones, I think sheepishly this time, climbs onto his shoulders.
Set to follow. Karn, you can move your token. God, I love that.
Percy.
Bones. Oh, Raven, you first, Raven. You first.
Raven's gonna look back at the guards. Are they actual like statues now? Or are they just like...
As you watch them, you see a stark contrast between the gleaming mithril of their swords to the graying and roughening of their feathers. They slowly lose detail, from downy and feathered and well-curved to something that appears more carved, as though porcelain and then of granite, as they become as stone.
Raven's gonna take off his hat. If you took care of her, I'll come back and take care of you. Don't you worry. He turns to follow the party.
Raven follows. As you follow the party, as the Autumn Prince leads the way, the woods are quiet. There are the occasional squawks of ravens, but nothing more. The wind blows, and you make your way from the still water pool toward the stonework and the grass and earth beyond. Eventually making your way to an opening wide enough for the prince to form another way from leaves and dust and light. And you are made to ride once more. The Autumn Prince informs you that the ride from here to Amber Breeze will not be. You have a few moments to discuss things or chill.
Max, Percy, knock it off.
Raven's gonna be quiet the entire time.
This is a very strange place.
Guess he won't. What will you mean that?
What Raven say?
In what way do you mean that?
Everything here in these realms, those who rule, they are all strange. It is not a bad thing, just a different thing.
As you say that out loud, the Autumn Prince, he does chuckle slightly, but does not fall out.
Yeah, as Karn is sure to note that it's not a bad thing, just different. Raven nods. Just leaves it at that.
These ones have all that these ones require, yes?
As you say that out loud, Khan, the images of the world around you move from green and spring and sunlight and warmth to cool and crisp autumn. You hear the familiar sounds of the city, the hustle, the bustle, the occasional construction, the rustling of leaves, the hitting of hammer on anvil. And you intrinsically understand that you are approaching the town that you had begun your search not hours earlier.
See? Strange.
Strange. As the coach finds a path, the ground becomes as cobble, making the ride smoother. Things that are in the way of the cart begin to move and part, including those living piles of leaves sort of shifting out of the way. In the presence of the prince, the crowd just seems to part. Not forcefully, but as though they had planned to move in that direction all along. Some people turn and gawk and notice your presence. Some call and cheer for the change bringers as they have arrived in town once more. You catch sight of the giant minotaur from before. He appears to be scratching his head, having knocked over a stand of apples and various foodstuffs, while Puddle on his shoulder seems to be explaining the situation. Lore, you catch sign of filigree on the ground, a little quickling, laughing and cackling, tears in his eyes, as a badger is sitting on the ground nearby, fuming and stammering and shouting at the little creature. He appears to have a pair of jeweler's glasses on his brows. The badger wears bands of jewelry. There is an unprecedented number of golden rings on the ground. And it appears the jeweler was moving something around and Filigree had bumped into him, causing him to lose his rings. You are in the hustle and bustle of town. You are in the place to finish your loose ends. The coach comes to a stop, and the Autumn Prince looks back toward the party. I believe there are some things to be returned and some friendships to be forged. I shall away to the tavern in the tree. It is a brief walk from hither to thither. When you are ready, find your way to me, and I shall send you home.
Okay, sounds good. Do you all want to divide and conquer, or just go one place at a time?
Split the party? Split the party?
It's a thought.
I hold up my hole.
I've got everything, so if we're gonna split up, we need to divvy.
Well, I commissioned robes from the seamstress, so at the very least, I need to go there.
And I'd like to see about an arm. So I'll take the crucible.
Which leaves the book.
The book belonged to whom? The old woman?
The apothecary.
The apothecary, yep. Hazel Bramblethorn, if I'm not mistaken.
This one can return the book.
I open up the hole. I pull out everything. I take the needle and hand it off to Bones. I take the book and I hand it off to Karn. And I use telekinesis to make the cauldron float in front of me and close up the hole.
All right, you grab the items. In your possession, Laura, when you take the crucible, as soon as you lay eyes upon it, as soon as it is in your person, it appears as large as a small bucket, made of stone, pitted, cold to the touch. It appears as though sculpted, or rather chiseled out of some kind of stone. The needle, Bones, as you take it, no longer is a long lance for stabbing and poking. It is, frankly, something very easy to lose as you hold this like 3-inch long, maybe like a couple millimeter thick silvery needle in your hands. Karn, as you were handed the book, it is simply an old tome. Looks like something you would find in Cross's library. So, we're splitting the party. You guys can make up who wants to go with whom. I will have Roar, Karn, and Bones. Either you guys can decide who goes first, or you can roll initiative now. I think we should make it just a simple d20 and omit dex bonuses.
Yeah, I'll roll the d20.
It looks like we will be following up with Roar first. So, if one of you would like to go with Roar, or if multiple of you would like to go with Roar, just know that you'll be going to the forge.
No offense, Mr. Roar, but I won't be letting the lady out of my sight to leave me.
That's fine, Raven.
And as we're walking, I look back. Did anyone ever tell you that having a name Raven but being an owl is quite strange?
anyone ever tell you having a name like Roar and speaking softly like a mouse is quite strange?
Yes, until they realize how it's spelled.
Yes, until they realize I don't care. And he actually gives Roar a bit of a smile.
Roar just shrugs.
So, as we're gonna follow Roar and Raven for a little bit as you guys walk, ribbing each other back and forth. Roar, you do see that Filigree is nearby. You can reclaim your trade at any point before you leave. You'll be able to track him down because he's actually pretty fucking slow right now. You make your way toward Hearthfire Blacksmithing. The pounding of the hammer kind of gets stronger and stronger. The heat of the forge, you can feel it before you get there. As you duck down into the dimly lit interior, you find the tortoise mason working away at what appears to be the horseshoe. Glowing hot red, but once quenched, becomes a silvery, almost blue metal. It seems to shift and turn as though liquid as he hangs it up to cool.
I see you've returned.
Yes.
The will prove smaller. Have any of you perished?
No perishing. Just different duties. But
A shame. I've always wanted to work with bones. A person's material.
that is intriguing. I myself have worked with bones. The material, it didn't that well.
Perhaps you come back sometime and I can share with you a few secrets.
That sounds great. Enlighten me.
And then I will use telekinesis to slowly float the crucible over to him.
Stars and stones. A deed for a deed.
He reaches out to take it from below. You see that his hand is actually red hot around the tips, as though his claws were heated metal.
A deed for a deed. Only right by the laws of equivalent exchange. Have a look around. I'd like to share with you something.
I start to look around, but as I'm looking around, I'll say,
I believe I mentioned a new arm earlier, but I don't think would you be able to make one?
Come along.
He takes the crucible in hand and leads you back deeper into the shop, where a number of items are mounted on a wall. But one draws your attention at its center behind a pane of glass. And you see that it appears to be a limb formed of a glossy brown material with well-articulated fingers and what appears to be between the joints fibers of a supple kind of wood.
I'll pose to you an option. Think carefully before you decide.
He actually holds the crucible in his hand.
You have returned the Emberhawk crucible to my shop. The power it holds is a subtle one, but it is one of the true powers. The crucible itself never burns, never cracks, not by heat, not by hammer. When it smelts to true, burning all manner of slag, sand, and other frustrations into vapor. It's said that with flame enough, the Emberhawk crucible can purify any manner of things a man could imagine. No, my stock is limited. You are a man of the forge. It could be of use to you.
He then looks toward the arm that you seem so keen on possessing He looks you over, seeing your very large, misshapen, misformed arm of your own.
Yes. The construction of intricacy and intimacy. Its intention is not forgotten, but misplaced with many years of stagnation. Once upon a time, I could think of no better gift for those who risk life and limb than the restoration of Sackland. Life, I'm afraid, still escapes me. Made of living wood to feel and flex, with ever-wound springs to push, and mithril thread tendons to pull. That prosthetic can remain in my shop awaiting the right adventurer. One who holds in them a fire in the heart, a chip upon their shoulder, and a stump where an arm should be. When I grow old, Mr. Pond, my shell grows thicker, and I wonder such a warrior will ever come to claim this thing. Should you need a hand, it will serve you well.
So, Lord, you have a choice. The Eternal Blacksmith offers you the Ember Heart Crucible, said to burn away any impurity and survive any heat. Or an arm made of magic and living feywood.
And for the Ember Heart Crucible, did he say that it never has to heat to remove the impurities, or is it just that it will undertake any heat and be fine?
Undertake any heat, and if heated high enough, it'll burn away any impurity imaginable. He mentioned that it is one of the true powers.
You would give to me the very thing that you noted that you needed most of all.
He inclines his head.
I grow old, Mr. Pond. Though I may make a many great number of things more, you could perhaps continue to make when I am dust.
I looked between the crucible and the arm, and there's like for about 10 seconds, every 2 seconds, the head moves from one to the other, sitting for a second and then moving again, putting great thought into the usage. And after a deep breath,
You offered me treats. Both are fantastic. And I do like to create.
and I will reach out and I will gently touch the crucible.
I think I will choose the crucible.
Then it is decided.
He hands it to you.
Should you find yourself again in these lands, follow the law of exchange. Find a deed worthy and I will part with this some other time.
He more or less shoves the crucible to you.
I openly take it and I nod.
Already working on it.
Emberheart Crucible is in your inventory. You do not have to identify it. Information is presently available on it.
Sweet.
So, have you other business with the Forge Master?
Had anyone else mentioned needing anything from the Forge Master that Laura would take a moment to talk about or try to arrange?
In retrospect, I should have gave him my damn spear.
Oh man.
Oh, well.
When in Rome, get a tour guide and make it an itinerary.
I mean, we have maybe some time. We could just retcon it and say that Karn had given him his spear. If you're talking about getting the half switched out, etc.
I already said that. I already promised Gallium he could do it.
Yes.
Fair.
Excellent. So we're going to lean into that. So I would like to pull away then from Gore, if that is okay.
Fine by me.
Okay. Looks like Karn is next on our docket. So, does anyone go with Karn to the alchemy shop?
I'm all alone. Oh.
Leah, you go with? Excellent. So, Karn, you got a shadow. Leah follows you. Occasionally, the elf gets glances from Eladrin and similar cousin-like entities who are roaming throughout the lands. It's a quicker walk than you remember as you make your way from hither to thither. When you make your way to the apothecary, you see that there is a sign currently stating that they are on break. They're temporarily closed, and a cursory glance reveals that the fox-like witch, the apothecary, Hazel, is out back applying mulch to a particular tree.
Out of curiosity, on the walk over here, did I happen to spot any burning bushes?
Like on fire?
God, is that you?
Well, I just remember back when we were investigating, I happened to gift a pile of leaves with the mosquito repellent incense.
Oh God.
Just want to make sure everything's still okay.
Yeah, no. You do catch a whiff of that mosquito repellent, though. You don't see anything on fire, but you do catch a whiff of that smell.
Yeah. It is making good use of it.
It's making good use of it. You've taught a bush to fish and it'll live for a lifetime.
Yeah. Spotting Hazel back there, I'll lead the way over to her in her tree.
All right. You notice Hazel before she notices you. Your passive perception's absurd.
Hello.
She perks up, ears pointed, and turns toward you. Oh, the visitors! Oh, welcome back. Is that my book? Is that my book? And she rushes toward you, dropping the mulch and abandoning the tree.
This one believes so.
She all but pulls it from your arms, quickly and swiftly scooping it up as she hugs it to her. Oh, I've been lost without it. I can't thank you enough. Where's the rest of you? We've got the big one and the pretty one, but where's the other big one and the cat one? They're not dead, are they?
No. These ones are all returning what was lost to their respective owners.
Good. That's great news. Wait here for Buttermole. I've got something for you.
Oh.
And she trots away from you. And a few moments later, she emerges from the back of the apothecary shop, carrying what appears to be a clay jug wrapped in intricate, faintly shimmering rope. More like twine. Right then, gift for a gift. You've done me a great boon. I can make just about anything now. And so, I thought perhaps this may be appropriate for what you and yours are working on your end. I would like for you to accept this.
This one will graciously accept.
Good. Wasn't going to take no for an answer, to be honest.
This one thanks that one.
So she hands you the jug, and you can feel its weight. It feels as though there's some kind of liquid inside of it. Not full to the brim, maybe like a quarter full of some kind of sloshing liquid. Right then, use it
Walks
judiciously.
around as she speaks.
Use it judiciously. Pour the contents when you're in need of a pick-me-up. Cannot guarantee the mileage, but it'll help in some way.
What is it?
Oh, it's an alchemy jug.
A what?
A jug of alchemy.
Oh,
Everything that you might need in an alchemist shop in one little jug.
that is very convenient.
Oh, quite.
This one thanks that one once more.
Kinda think enough. Karn, you have the Jug of True Alchemy in your inventory. Due to the magic's apparent in the world and the gift shared with you willingly, its secrets are revealed to you intrinsically. You may observe the item card. You simply know what it does. Right, well, will you be staying long?
Unfortunately, no. These ones are to return to where these ones came from very soon.
Oh, that's a mite unfortunate. I was hoping perhaps to wine and dine a few of you, share some crackers and wine, but we all are slaves to our vocations.
Oh,
Do you mind if I sneak in a hug?
There's a moment when she says slaves to our vocations where Card gets this existential dread look in his eyes as his mind flashes back to his recent memories and his recent transformation.
oh no. Sure.
Yeah. With consent, she swoops in and wraps her arms around you with surprising strength. For just a fluffy fox lady. She gives you a hug and a squeeze, plants her hands on your shoulders as she pushes back, and inclines her head. It's been a pleasure meeting you, and turns to Leah. Mind if I squeeze one in too? You look a lot softer.
Leah takes a moment, then Becky's arms.
She swoops in, grabs you under the arms, and squeezes you to her. And I think perhaps Leah could appreciate more that this creature is soft, like a blanket.
Which one of us is taller?
I think you are... How tall is Leah? She is an elf.
I don't know where it's in height.
I think if you count her ears, you're at even height, so she's looking up to you.
Then probably just not like just a hair pickup hug.
Hair of a pickup hug. She gives you a squeeze, and there's this like genuine affection you weren't quite expecting. As she eventually breaks the hug, sighs. Oh, I do so miss having tourists, interesting people, interesting smells, interesting stories. If you find your way back, come visit. I'd love to give you some whiskers.
I think it would be hard to stay away
Flatterer you are! Flatterer you are! I like this one. I like you both. Return home safe. May the wind be at your back. And use the jug. It may be helpful, it may not. It might make your head explode, I don't know. Magic's weird. It won't make your head explode, I promise. I promise, it's a joke. Note, this is a joke. I've got to tend to a very rude tree. So, I'll go do that. And you two be careful, and tell your friends to be careful.
You say the sassy one?
Quite sassy, quite rude. If it had a mouth, I'd slap it, maybe kiss it. Still on the fence.
This one understands.
She nods, bows a little bit, and turns to tend to her garden and her trees.
The Leah does not think these ones are slaves to their jobs, does the Leah?
That's an open-ended and very narrow question at the same time.
Oh,
Depends on what you consider your job.
this one is still figuring that out.
As long as you don't write yourself in stone, then I don't think that statement would apply.
Don't write yourself in stone. Is there anything more that you two are up to?
I think I'm good for this section.
Yeah, task is completed, so Karn would head back to the others.
All right. So, freshly warmed and fuzzied, you two are left to your own devices to return back whence you came. At this point, we're going to turn our attention to Bones. Bones, it's just a quick skip and a hop from where you are to the tailor shop of Amara Silkweaver. You are greeted by a multitude of spiders as you approach the hanging sign above her abode/vocational workplace.
Yeah, definitely. I'll head on in.
You head on in. Bones, there is but one person left to accompany Bones. Gabriel, do you follow?
Why not?
All right. So you've got a little porcupine guard keeping by with you. Do you guys spend time to chit chat along the way, or amicable silence? Do you have any questions for your guard?
I think Bones is in full-on compartmentalizing mode.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
No, it's good for
I'm
her.
just accidentally torturing the characters. Oh no, I can't kill you, but I can hurt you. So you make your way into the spider-laden seamstry shop. You see spinning wheels and a multitude of little tarantulas and orb weavers performing the various tasks and duties, making cloth, draping mannequins, weaving ribbons and rope and all manner of things. You make your way into the parlor-like section of Amara's office/desk, and the Spider-Woman perks up upon seeing your return. She stands, her many arms folding to steeple their fingers before her, almost like a prayer situation, but looser in the fingers. Ah, I see you have returned unharmed. Welcome, welcome. Would you like to take a seat, have some tea?
I have your needle, and I'm gonna hold it up. Like, Bones has been holding it, like, very specifically.
My needle! Most excellent, thank you, thank you. And she moves out from behind her desk in her lavish seat to approach you. One hand reaches for the needle. Two other pairs of hands reach to clasp your hands. She tucks the needle into her woven hair, just kind of like holds and shakes your hands. I cannot thank you enough. This is a grand gesture and gift, and I see there are only two of you now. Have the remainder of your party perished?
No. We just decided to divide and give everyone their stuff bags.
I see. A judicious use of your time. To that end, then, I will forego the regular pleasantries. I believe you had wanted a little bit of a trade.
Yes, at the very least, I'd like to hope... I'd like it, yes, the fireproof ropes.
Of course. I could sense in you a... She glances down. Bones, your necklace of communication, that little heart-shaped stone, is that presented to bear Or is that tucked away?
No, that's presented. She's wearing Bones. Bones is an eclectic necklace situation in which she has both the jade stone and the heart-shaped stone, like as a layered necklace.
I could sense in your tone and presence the starry-eyed sensation of one love. To that end, the robes became my priority. Am I mistaken to believe that you intend to protect this person, as they are important to you?
Yes.
Then I'm certain you will not mind what I have provided. She snaps 3 of her fingers on 3 different hands, and a multitude of spires moving like a living ooze rushes from behind the desk, like a wave, and once before you, twists, turns, and lifts, revealing a bundle concealed within their tiny legged forms. You see a parcel, a folded package of silk. Silk that has been stitched and folded, different shades of blue, dark blue, navy, all clasped together in a leather belt, as you are handed a robe.
Oh, these are beautiful, and I'll unroll them a bit.
Beautiful and functional. You find that the robe itself is extremely well tailored. Its seams are nigh invisible to the naked eye, and it appears durable and sturdy. Don't combine those words, that's bad. You can feel the magic laced within the threads. I've placed the item on your character sheet. You intrinsically understand the magic woven into the robe of safeguarding. Though I know you had wanted this made specifically and would not want to leave without it, I could not help myself but to be inspired by your presence, my lady. I would like to, it is perhaps cheeky of me, like to make an attempt at currying a bit of favor. I would like to present a gift.
Oh?
Freely given, of course.
I would appreciate a gift.
As I had hoped you would. Harvey? Henry? Harlot? She summons with a couple of snaps of her fingers, and another wave of spiders approaches. From their almost ooze-like collective body, another parcel is lifted up and out to you, and you see more silk dyed in resplendent deep reds, dark reds and light reds. They all have this sheen across them. As you are handed another cut of cloth. The Fey Noble's cut has been added to your inventory. You intrinsically understand that there's a kind of, not illusory magic in this, but transmutative magic. Like the magic inherent in the Feywild, these clothes can be made to assume a different form.
Oh, these are beautiful.
Though they do not offer the same protection as the robe for your heart's love, I believe sometimes sending a message through your image can be almost as effective as magical protection. I hope they serve you well.
In at least one life and under one name, I'm a politician, so I understand the value in a good image.
Oh, I had a feeling. Well, will you be staying long? Do you have time for tea?
I think we can stay for a minute or two.
She smiles at you, and she then turns her attention down lower to the ground toward Gabriel.
Might
And
I
her
give
lips-
you a gift in return?
A gift in return? I would be flattered.
I would like to write and play her a song.
You're gonna noodle a song for her right then and there?
It's gonna be
Alright.
it's gonna be a play on Itsy Bitsy Spider, but I'm changing the it's gonna be a little bit of a richer, more complicated sound, and also changing the time signature to a waltz.
Waltz! Amazing. So, there actually are rules for improvising music on the fly. With a musical instrument, you can improvise a tune. It is a DC 20 performance check. I do sliding scale successes, so if you make your performance check and you roll high but don't make a 20, it's not going to fall flat on your face, but the results could be silly if you roll low.
So I'm making this up on the fly, but I think I have an idea that you will enjoy, and I'll pull out.
I love flies. Flies are perhaps the best thing that's happened to this place. I'm going to give you conditional advantage for the wordplay.
Wonderful. Okay, I'm gonna roll a performance check. Eh.
The 15.
Wait. No, I used my cat's lick already. I can't
Oh,
inspire
bother.
myself.
Oh, bards can't do that. Shoot. Okay. Well, a 15 is still very, very close. So, you begin to perform this song, and you change this, what is essentially a nursery rhyme, into something a little more serious. And the multitude of spiders begin to dance to this music. They begin to, first they bounce until eventually they find the rhythm and the weave of the music, and they kind of stop what they're doing and gather. Amara begins to hum along, but her impression, you see that she is flattered, but not necessarily impressed. She is, however, pleased. Her many hands get to work producing a tea set. Begins to pour tea. She begins to sing verbally, but does not vocalize, doesn't produce words to the songs. Tras and las, matching you, harmonizing a little bit. You have certainly produced an air of levity in the room. And after your performance is complete, she does serve you, herself, and Gabriel a cup of tea. I am delighted by such off-the-cuff performance. I think that song will stick with me for some time. It is certainly a unique gift to be given.
I'll polish it and play it again next time I come.
I shall look forward to this. I hope your visit will come sooner than the last time we were visiting. It's been so long since we have seen folks from your realm. The world feels a little brighter with Changebringers present.
And I think we're gonna sit down for a quick tea.
Excellent. Do you have anything to discuss while you have tea? Just shoot the shit, or is there anything specific that you would like to pursue?
I think just polite small talk.
Like small talk. So, yeah, you spend a little while in the spider's den. Roll me just a quick insight check as the conversation carries forward. 16. 16 is enough. You get the impression that Amara has certain interests in your companion.
Like romantic interests? or like just curiosity interest, or
You
She
think,
wants to eat me.
or does she want to eat her?
or does she want to eat her? You're not sure if it's the absolute, latter or the absolute prior. Somewhere in between those two. And as you're kind of, putting together what machinations Amara might be putting together, she does broach a subject. So as I understand it, you and yours must away back to your realm. Might I borrow your guard for a while longer, or is she bound to you until you leave?
Insight check on Gabriel.
That looks pretty, like, clueless.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, are you both friends?
We could be. Many arms come forward and steeple the fingers, cutesy-like, underneath her chin.
It could be. I just never had a reason to come in here.
Gods, I really don't want to like feed Gabriel to the spider lady. I mean, only figuratively. I'm down for literal. I mean, I'm not down for literal.
I'm looking at what you're laying down. Oh, this conversation's gone places. Yeah, up to you if you want to. It's up to you. You're in charge of this campaign.
You've seen Gabriel in action. She can hold her own.
That's
If
true.
the spider wants to try and eat her, she'll just kick her ass.
That's fair. Well, I can hold my own in Amber Breeze and find my companions just fine if you'd like to stay, Gabriel.
Oh, it would be nice to have you hang around with me for a while.
Oh no.
I like this tea. I'd like more.
I certainly can provide. There's just a sweet smile, and her teeth are so very sharp. Very well. I should like to thank you for your patronage and your company and your insight. You are welcome forevermore at the Silken Web Boutique.
I'll stand and give a little bow and head out and hope that I did not just feed Gabriel to a giant spider lady.
You're never gonna see her again. No, you probably will see her again. We'll find out. I don't know. I'm just an NPC. I'm at the mercy of the DM.
Kinda. Safe travels, Lady Summer.
Have fun, you two.
Bye.
She giggles. She just giggles. You see some flushing in her cheeks as you make your way out of the boutique. The spiders are still kind of bouncing and weaving, following you as you leave until you get to the threshold of the door, at which point you exit out and into the rest of the world. So, I believe I gave both items to you. Yes, they're both in your inventory. You have completed loose ends, save for one. Roar.
Yeah, so after having possibly spent a couple more minutes speaking with the very fantastic Smithy, because he does so many things, Roar would pop out and eventually go find Filigree.
Scrivener!
Filigree.
I must say, I have not had this much fun in eons, perhaps. Ages, maybe. Minutes, possibly. You're leaving, aren't you?
I kneel down and I look at him.
Well, yes, we do have to go.
Profound sadness. But a deal is a deal. I shall return to you what is rightfully yours.
I hold up a hand.
So, You are having fun now. We should be back. Eventually.
Eventually, you will be returning. Oh, that is most excellent news. Opportunity knocks. Would you? And he kind of makes this like used cars salesman, one arm forward, one arm back, one arm forward. Maybe you want to make this a regular thing.
Possibly.
Possibly, maybe. I like possibly. Possibility is good.
I also don't know how much you're enjoying this, and if you would like a lot more time to sit in it.
Ah.
Give you the option to continue borrowing both ways.
That is an interesting prospect. Yes. However, the details of our deal were quite clear. Upon returning, I was to give you back what is yours. However, in the future, if you do return, you would like to perhaps make a permanent trade. I would be interested in altering the deal in the future, maybe, perhaps.
I'll have to consider that.
And consider I shall too. That said, he extends his hand to you.
I reach out and I take his hand and I give it a dainty little shake.
It is as though you are struck by lightning with all of the energy and none of the pain. Remove Quick and Bargain from your character sheet and... let's see. Your Constitution bumped back up to that, so Dexterity... that was supposed to jump back down.
I believe I've saved my settings in one of my notes. Either that or is in the chat.
Where'd it go? Son of a bitch. Down there?
You're not transmitting if you're.
I know, I'm reading. I'm just talking out loud and playing with myself.
Alright, we can double check that at a later time. No need to get too fussed over it right now. Let's see, blurred movement, that's the one. Blurred movement removed. Movement speed is back down to 30. There we go. Okay. As though being struck by lightning, you feel the very essence of your being shaken. And then, like that, it's gone. You feel a certain sturdiness in your form that had been missing from before, but also a kind of lag in your body. As your blurred movements cease to be and your speed returns to what it was. Filigree, for his part, shakes his hand in the air a bit. Though fun I have been having, I do think perhaps some folks were getting a little annoyed with the antics of a nigh indestructible tiny little ball such as I. Definitely gonna do it again, though, for sure.
That's fair.
Well, I wish you safe travel and luck in your endeavors. Return to us. Return to me. I would like to deal again. But you have to live for that to happen.
Well, that is the plan.
Excellent. The best laid plans are always the ones that work perfectly every time. I'm sure that's how that phrase goes. Well, if you'll excuse me, there is a centaur that I am due to trip very soon. I need to find some rope and a large rock. And perhaps if I am lucky, I will be able to cap off one of his horns for fun. Perhaps sell it back to him. Ta-ta! seemingly upon completing the task at hand, you kind of immediately realize he might not be a good person, but while under the effects of your pact, his antics were a little less mean. And before you can say much, he is zip, gone.
I think you got lucky on that one.
Being fast is fun.
Well, I don't suppose I heard tell of anybody dying, so enabling somebody like that to do a lot of damage, I guess.
Just a moment. Gotta move some tokens around. Okay. So, I believe the party would begin to converge at this point. You make your way toward the center of town. You make your way back to the center of town and find your way toward the path that young prince had noted from before. There you find Garabakini is waiting for you. Well, hello, ladies and gents. Looks like you've managed to do some good heroic work. Brought some things back to the town. And please, little folks. Did I not move the right map? Oh no! Oh, I meant to bring it back to the countryside. That explains why no one was moving. I'm a fool! I'm an idiot! I preloaded it and everything! This whole time.
Alright, we're good now.
Okay. So, you find yourself with Garabek. He greets you, mentions your good work so far. Right then. As I understand it, this isn't goodbye, but goodbye will be happening soon. I would like very much to escort you back to the tavern. That's fine with y'all?
Yes, I'd like to get changed before anything else happens, though.
Oh, most certainly. Your room is still yours in the tavern. We can bring you there. You can get changed out if you so choose.
Perfect.
Right then.
This one was given a jug.
Oh, is that from Hazel?
Yes.
Oh, she must be sweet on you. That's fine. She's sweet on just about everyone. I mean, you are cute. I mean, in a weird, blocky kind of way.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Right then. If you got nothing left to do in town, then I'll be happy to escort you, bring you back to your room, so you can get changed. And, as far as I know, old Fast Hands has got some kind of lady son. He's got something for you specifically. Some pomp and circumstance, and well, to be done. So yeah, getting changed is a good idea.
Perfect.
Yeah, Garrett, down the path from whence you came. So, some time passes. As you're walking through the woods, you find that it's almost like, you know how when you're walking in the woods and you're kind of lost and you keep seeing the same tree over and over? It's kind of like that, however. As you look about to find your landmarks, every time you take note of what's around you, it's as though you're in an unfamiliar area. As though your travel is skipping beats, skipping paces. You understand that you are traveling perhaps quicker than you should. Eventually, you come to the clearing where the great, impossibly thick birch tree resides. The white wood scaling high into the sky, the red leaves bunched and bushy. All manner of creatures have gathered around the entrance to the tavern in the tree. And this time, I'm actually going to activate it, I promise. Activate. Bones, you are... Loading. Bones, you are escorted, or directed, if you choose to go alone, to the room you had spent the previous rest in. You find that the bed is well made, everything is clean, dusted. There appears to be food and wine set out for the inevitable return of those who have been given room. There is a spare room for a bath and for cleaning. There's also a one of those wooden framed veils for changing. You are granted a modicum of privacy. In fact, you are granted full privacy, as there's no one here to await you.
Yeah, I don't want to take forever, but I do want to get a little bit cleaned up, and I want to change it to my new outfit.
Sure.
And design my new outfit.
Yeah, as you get yourself cleaned, you find that the oils and dirt and blood from your fur just melts away, as though prestidigitation was woven into the water and soap itself. Water is sweet, the soaps are impossibly floral and yet unassaulting to the nose. As you lotion your hands, you find that your skin is again made supple, as though you had not worked alongside a smith and spent most of your life picking locks and snapping things.
Wonderful. I'm changing into my new clothes. Going with like a crisscross top with long sleeves and poofy pants with like a skirt over top to make it look all pretty. And
as though by... What is this nonsense? Get in there. As though following your lead, you find that when you put the garments on, they don't quite fit as well as you'd like them to. You rustle your shoulders and they loosen. They mold and shape and conform. Stitches melt away and reseam themselves. The cloth, the garment, rebuilding itself in the image of your choosing. You understand that this garment, once per day, you can choose to make it what you want it to be. Once that use is expended, by dusk, it will have recharged and allow you to change it again.
it's gonna be some fancy Middle Eastern garb. Pretty, with gold and red and flames on the bottom.
Most excellent. I gotta check my notes. So, you descend from the staircase, and you are met with gazes and looks from many denizens. While Bones is changing, is there any last things that folks would like to do?
I'm good.
Okay. Those of you on the ground by the entrance of the tavern in the tree, you find that there are multiple people gathering both Amberbury's residents, the little beast folk, and wildlings of all kinds, gathering about, kind of encircling the Autumn Prince. The prince himself, he has returned to his previous splendor, his previous bigness, though not physically large. His magical presence can be felt as though he is a figure of enormity. Beside him stands a truly massive harp the size of him, made of beautiful, you're not sure if it's ivory or wood. The frame is almost iridescent white, and the strings look as though made of gold. He has it presented as his gaze turns toward the entryway of the tavern, just at the time that you emerge, Bones. With your arrival, the Autumn Prince smiles. Lady Summer, I am pleased to see you are thriving with what we can provide. I recognize the handiwork of one of our Sucri, and I must say, the cut suits you.
It was a very generous gift from her.
One gift and yet one more. When first I had sent my invitation, I promised a boon. And delivery of said boon is what I intend. Gathered here are the many people whose lives you have touched, will touch, in due time. They should very much like to bear witness as I bestow upon you one of the words of creation. Lady Summer, would you please introduce your instrument?
I will present him with my lute.
You present your lute. 4 bones. As your instrument can change shape, change to any instrument of your imagination, does it remain in that shape?
I think she's changed it to a violin while she was getting ready.
Oh yeah. So you've produced this golden violin. He inclines his head and places one arm upon the harp and begins to strum upon them. As the strings resonate and begin to produce a melody, slow and pondering, the world around you begins to turn vibrant with the colors of autumn. The breeze blows colder, and the leaves, still hanging to the trees, begin to fall. And as they fall, they dance. From dead leaves and between blades of dying grass, vibrant and colorful mushrooms begin to blossom into fat caps out of the ground, moist and beautiful. Nature begins to take on a state of death, decay, that which is associated with the end of autumn, both sad and beautiful. This is the Song of Home, a dedication to but one of the words of power. Notice a few mere syllables of those words of creation. It is enough to evoke the feeling of nostalgia in any soul when you need to rest your head, perform it, and home will find you. Whether by fate, by decree, by inheritance, you have in you the word nobility. You are recognized as a lady entitled to land. And though the parcel is perhaps small, that land will be your home. And as luck would have it, that land neighbors ours. Fairy roads, take me home to the paths I used to roam. The air grows cold, the wind blows a little louder, a little wetter. And as he plays, he pauses and turns to you. Your turn.
Alrighty. I'll take it and I'll play.
Alright, so you begin to play, and as you play, Bones, you find that, God, every string, every note is so close. So close, and yet so very slightly off. But you continue, and you persist. And you find yourself losing yourself in the song. And as you play your rendition of it, as you take the song, digest it, and return it to the prince or to magic itself, you can't say. It is transformed and made new and made yours. Summer, as you play, the world around you begins to blossom and bloom. The leaves, now barren from the trees, exposing their nakedness, the trees begin to bud and begin to grow new leaves. That twilight sunset sky grows bright, where there is no sun, there is blue in the yellow. Air grows hot, fresh, and new grass begins to creep up from the ground where mushrooms have taken over. Bushes grow into tall hedges, forming arches with bouquets of blossoming flowers that burst into existence from their branches. And in those hedgeways, those arches, a doorway of roots and greenery forms. That door is your door. You may open it at any time. As your song comes to a conclusion, there are a great many figures who begin to clap and not cheer. The song is too slow and somber, but some begin to wipe from their eyes tears they had not seen, had not noticed they had. Among them are the many folks who you have seen, who you're familiar with. Karn, I think, would notice that among them there is also what appears to be a human. A pale-skinned, beautiful adult woman with elegantly disheveled, raven black hair who watches on with casual interest. And as soon as you notice her, the denizens around her begin to notice and give her space. As heads begin to turn and make note, even the Autumn Prince takes heed of this person. The music continues to flow in the air, not played by fingers, but persistent by magic. Your song somehow continues to play, should your fingers falter. And the Autumn Prince looks to you, Bones, and bows his head. What's a surprise? You must pardon me for but a moment. As he turns his attention to this woman who he had not noticed in the crowd. My lady, this is quite unexpected. I will be sure to welcome you properly once I have said my farewells to my esteemed guests. I presume you have returned home safely.
Please, my prince, take your time. I should very much like to meet with you to discuss a matter of some delicacy. Yet it would be terrible manners if I were not to pay respects to your esteemed guests.
I would dare not deprive them of your good tidings. The Autumn Prince turns to the party, turns to you, Bones. She is a noble, long estranged from us, and a welcome friend to our delays. It has been far too long since our priest has enjoyed her grace. Would you mind? And Bones, he looks to be asking permission to introduce you.
Oh, no, of course. I'd be happy to meet her.
He takes a step back and leans on his harp, giving this woman a chance to approach.
I hear that he has taken to calling you his change-bringers. Quite an auspicious title. I like it.
I'm called Summer.
You may call me... Harris. Yes, that will do. In honor of my mother. It is a pleasure to meet you, Summer. It is a rare thing to be gifted one of the earliest songs. You play it well.
Thank you. This is a gift I truly appreciate. I'll bow my head to you. Also, can I roll an insight check on her?
Yeah, you certainly can. Bones, I'm going to give you a little bit of just baseline Bones. This woman carries herself with the air of a noble.
Yeah, I got that from Misha's acting.
But you see that she is somewhat down-dressed for, a queen or a princess. She bears a single jewel upon a necklace of sorts, almost like a choker. Her dress is finely cut like yours, but does not have that same shimmer. She is not a criminal, so you will not get advantage on this. Wisdom, insight. All right, so are you getting a general vibe check, or is there something you're trying to dive into?
I mean, it's somewhere between the general vibe check and, like, Heather has some genre-specific, like, vibes, but I don't know if Summer would have those genre-specific vibes, you know what I mean?
Those genre-specific vibes. So, you begin to read the situation. She had approached quietly, unseen, and her presence, once noticed, was given great deference, not out of fear, but out of what seems to be respect. You see that she plays the court as though experienced in courtly ways, soft-spoken, and you do get a sense of genuine interest, and it's not, I guess admiration? You don't sense malice from the person. You do with a 21. You see some words are being chosen during these interactions. There's a certain aloofness to her.
Does she look like a local?
She looks like a human.
She looks like.
She looks like just a beautiful human woman.
With pale skin? Yeah, that's the problem. That's the sticking point, isn't it?
Not ashen skin, but pale skin. There is a flush of warmth and blood in her cheeks. It's healthy. It's not the paleness of deprivation, but the paleness of noble birth. You also get that her eyes are captivating crimson.
God, who is this lady?
God, who is this lady?
Well, I dare not take up any more of your time. Well met. May the wind be at your back, and may your transition to the material plane be swift and safe. I shall... Go ahead.
Your well wishes are truly appreciated.
Perhaps our paths will cross again in the future. For now, I shall retire to the quarters so graciously offered me in your tavern, my prince. When you are free.
My lady. He bows and touches his hand to his sternum, and it's a deep bow as he sees Eris off. As Eris moves, the crowd parts. Little tiny mouse girl looks at her with awe. A couple of Peladrin bow their heads in deference, and she disappears into the crowd, lost inside of the tavern tree, disappearing from view. The Autumn Prince approaches you, Summer. Once beyond your door, I will not be able to follow. But should you ever want to return, play the song true. But do be aware. It is a song that can only be taught, not learned. Though one may try to hear it, mimic, and plagiarize to copy it, it will only ever be a pale facsimile. Should you find one whom you would share your home with, teach it to them, and they too will find their way home to you. However, a song such as this cannot easily be unlearned. Please guard this gift as you would your own heart.
I will do so.
He nods and stands a little straighter. Once beyond those doors, the time is yours to give, just as I have given you mine. So long as your door exists, you will be able to do the same. But your time as a mortal is limited, sadly. I urge you to be judicious with it. Should you decide the mortal realms have lost their luster, you could choose instead forever. He kind of lifts his shoulders to shrug. and gestures with his hand toward the doorway you had created.
Until we meet again.
Until we meet again. Farewell, Changebringers. I am certain our paths shall cross soon.
And I'll head to the doorway.
The crowd begins to not mob you, but approach as the sound of the music continues to play. You approach the doorway in the hedge arch. And you step through. Who the hell is that now? Beyond the doorway as you leave the path is a walkway tamped down earth that leads into a clearing surrounded by a thick forest. The sky is bright with a combination of sunset and clear blue skies. The trees in the distance range from dying golden red leaves to fresh summery growth. At its center, you discover a humble cabin, barely 2 stories tall, big enough perhaps for a modest family. And beyond the cabin, you see another path leading through the woods, leading to a tall door made from pale birchwood, just like the tree. There is no one here but you and your party. Oh, no vision? 1 moment.
Just put your tokens on the black space. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I just
There
dragged
you
my token out.
I gotta shout at Dom. Hey, Dom! Going to assume Raven doesn't follow. Can't get a hold of her. Why would he? This isn't his place. So, you guys are outside of a cabin.
I will never be homeless again.
That is a good thing.
I know Bones has been compartmentalizing, but hearing Bones say that out loud, what is going on in Bones' head? Like, what is the feeling right now?
Oh, she's got a lot of feelings right now. It's she's a little overwhelmed. Bones is a little blue screened right now, actually. Like a lot of responsibility, but also like this is her home. As someone who has almost exclusively lived in other people's homes, it's weird and amazing and weird, and no one can take this from her.
Do you approach?
Yeah.
Do you head inside?
Yeah.
Do you run or walk? Like, what's Bones doing?
I think Bones is bouncing a little bit. Like, it's not, it's like, it's definitely a fast kitten walk. It's not the slow, like, sachet. It is definitely like a boop, boop, boop.
Okay. So, Dom, you just got back. You saw the rest of the party leave through a doorway in an archway of bushes. I'll leave it up to Raven. Do you attempt to follow? Or do you see...
Gabriel, did Gabriel follow?
Gabriel never quite made it to the ceremony.
Oh yeah,
We
he
never
was gonna
saw her
provide
again.
her.
Bones left her for dead. It's spite. It's Fade bullshit. She didn't want to get into it.
It's fine. This is fine.
Is it indicated that they're still like in the Feywild?
It's still the Feywild. Essentially, this is a very small domain, which means rules of hospitality and rules of demesne apply here. You could attempt to follow them. It would be best to ask to do so. You are not sure if you physically can.
It might be best that he actually don't.
Okay. Alright, so I'm going to assume that Raven saw them off as they left.
Indeed.
Okay. So, catching back up to Bones, you bounce toward the entryway of the cabin. You find that the door is unlocked.
Yeah, I'll head in.
Okay, you don't check for traps. Good to know. So the door creaks open. Having needed oiling for quite a few many years. And the smell that hits you is... it's intense. Not because it's a strong smell, but because it's very familiar. It's the scent of vanillin from old books. It's the scent of coffee. The interior of the cabin is spacious, though not empty. Though it is dusty with age, the wooden furniture is inviting. It possesses all the amenities needed to sustain a lifestyle. As you begin to explore, you find that there are multiple rooms. There are beds, there's a bath, a kitchen, a parlor, and even a small workshop. As you enter, you see a small hearth, actually a rather large hearth, igniting a very small flame inside of it, lighting as though by your presence. And you see that there is plenty of wood to burn. You can't find any food, but it does appear to have everything else that you might need to survive. It's a home. It simply needs someone to inhabit it. As you explore, you find your way to a coffee table, upon which sits a white mug and a somewhat large, very beaten up, well-loved, stuffed, blue stegosaurus. The mug has text in Elven. It reads World's Greatest Dad. The bookshelves contain tomes. Many, many tomes.
Bones is gonna melt and sob for a little bit.
Alright. You all watch Bones kind of break down there for a second.
Are you okay?
Does this one need to stab the thing?
I think she literally can't speak.
This one thinks the Fey Prince broke the bones.
You guys are welcome to roll an insight check into why Bones is weeping. Like, you can do that or just play it out.
These ones should demand a refund.
I don't think that he would give her a gift that was deliberately painful.
Yeah, Karn,
They are strange folk.
Karn, I'd say with a 10, you kind of get that there's something off, but it's just awkward for you, and you're not sure quite what to do.
This is awkward.
Roar, with a 19, I'm going to say that, like, there are emotions that you kind of have trouble grasping, but you understand the concept of. And this is catharsis. This is something familial. This is teetering between happiness and overwhelming sadness. But I think Roar gets it.
Roar will walk over to Bones, and with his not fucked up hand, this is his left one, he will reach out and gently pat her back.
It's okay. Breathe.
It is my father's mug. And that is the stuffed stegosaurus he got me when I was... before he went missing.
I continue patting her back.
This one will not stab it.
Oh, please don't stab it.
The bones has this one's word.
We'll get him back.
So, how much time does Bones take to collect herself?
Probably just takes a minute or two. She's pretty good at compartmentalizing.
I think it's a rogue thing. So you wipe your tears, you catch your breath, you stop, hyperventilating, and eventually that knot in your throat begins to unwind. And you find yourself the moment to explore. I think it would be safe to say that Bones would probably check out, like, what is here.
Yeah.
So of all the things that you find, you discover that in the bookshelves, there appear to be works by your father, by Senator Farron. And you see books that you recognize, books that you've read before. Duplicated, replicated here in print. You see tomes of worldly study that you're familiar with, of languages and of peoples. And you see books on topics that you somehow understand have not yet been written. As you flip them open, you see words shifting from topic to topic, as though dreamlike. And it's almost impossible to keep reading. After you explore the space and look around and find all that's available to you, it's very much a quiet and cozy place. And as you ponder the quietude and, I suppose, isolation, you hear not from inside the building, but from beyond one of the open windows. Your attention is drawn toward the path you come from.
Go check it out.
You make your way back to the path that you had come from, and you find the door before you.
Open the door.
As you open the door, you see a crowd, a group of people, little beast folk from Ambergris, kind of gathered about, looking somewhat timid, somewhat surprised that the door was opened. And one squinty little beady-eyed mole looks up to you among the group, looking up at you because he's so much smaller. Salutations, Lady Summer. I would hate to interrupt, but a lot of the folks here have been talking, and we do so very much appreciate what you've been doing for us. We would like to offer to ingratiate ourselves to you and pay you back.
Oh, okay.
It seems you've come across a bit of land and a home for yourself. I don't suppose you have things you might be needing moving to sell yourself. Perhaps cleaners to clean, cooks to cook. We aren't much, but as we understand it, you've got a door. And if you've got a home from where you're from, well, we thought maybe a lot of us could help you maybe move your things from there to here. It might be a little selfish, and full disclosure, we are very interested in your world. Seeing as you can make a door and make a path, we would like to offer to visit and help you settle.
I would truly appreciate that.
The group begins to chatter among themselves, speaking, and there's an excitement swell in this crowd. Very well. Well, we will gather ourselves, and you may invite us at any time, and I'm sure most folk would be very interested, especially if it means seeing the other world. If there's any task you need done, anything a lot of little hands can help with, we would love to be your little hands, Lady Summer.
I truly appreciate you all.
As do we. See, maybe now's not the best time, so we will follow up. So, Bones, essentially these guys are offering to be your lackeys, if you...
It's adorable.
If only to see the world that you came from. They are willing to essentially perform manual labor and do that sorcerer's apprenticeship for you guys. You have access to butlers, to movers, to handymen, should you need them. They are here. And as that concludes, and as they begin to draw straws to see who will be first to ingratiate themselves to you, it dawns upon you. There is another door on the other side of the home along a different path.
I will go peek through it.
So, you make your way to that door, and you reach to open it. One moment. You understand what this door is before you peek at it, because as you touch it, you can feel the primal energy of what is real, of the life of the jungle. You creak it open and you feel the heat and the humidity of the world you came from begin to filter through. Though you only see light beyond, you know that by taking a step through here, you will return to your other home.
Just because I want to make sure I'm understanding, this will return me back to the ziggurat?
This will return you back to the ziggurat, yes.
Okay.
As you peer into the light, it also resonates in your mind what the Autumn Prince had said. That now you are the one who is given time. I think as a lord in your own right of this tiny little domain, you understand that the clock has begun to move again.
Yes.
So you may spend as much time as you like here, but for every minute here, it will be a minute there.
Right. We should get back to the ziggurat, at least for a little bit, to finish cataloging.
Yes.
And then I gotta see if I can teach a wizard a song via a
See
pen.
if you can teach a wizard a song.
Oh!
Okay.
Question! Ooh,
Question?
DM question. Would
Yes.
my 10 minutes have recharged even if it hasn't been 10 minutes for Reg?
Oh man, magic's fucking weird. Sure.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So, I'm going to assume that the party is then going to make the jump.
Yep, Roy's gonna follow Bones.
Mechanics question, will I be able to come back?
So, in your character sheet, I have sneakily snuck something in.
Ooh.
Your knack evolves as a bard, being able to wield the words of creation, the first words uttered that formed that song that made the world. You now have a fragment of those words of power. There are 2 performances available to you: the Song of Storms and the Song of the Hearth.
Okay, I gotta find out where it is. I can see the songs, but I can't see, like, each one. Alright, there it is.
You got it?
I have Song of Storms.
Well, it's under your active abilities.
Oh, okay.
They didn't keep the knack tag, unfortunately. I'll adjust that later, so that they're all in the same area. All right. So, are there any further mechanic questions before you guys step through?
Yep, nope, good.
Okay. So, as you file through one by one, stepping into the light, or you feel something terrible.
Oh no.
The warmth of the cabin recedes as you find yourself almost physically repulsed, repelled, pushed back by the transition of the Feywild into the prime material plane. You feel an aching in your chest and a tension of magic pushing against you. Things begin to move very quickly as the golden light begins to crackle and darken in areas. From the ground, shadowy tendrils begin to creep up, forming pointed, jagged thorns that threaten to encroach, clasp, and blockade your path from all sides. Well, you are the one responsible for carrying Robin. So, what happens next is very important. Robin is not a lesser Fae. Robin is an Archfey. By the rules of magic as set by a Sarlacc, those powerful creatures cannot return. You, with your soul, make it possible, but dangerous. There would be 3 checks that must be made. They're not skill checks, they're attribute checks. Your spellcasting modifier is intelligence, correct?
Yes.
All cards on the table. As Roar pushes forward, there will be successively more difficult checks to be made. Those of you following see that Roar is struggling. Before Roar makes that check, any one of you can provide either an action, bonus action, or reaction ability that is available to you that may affect his roll. Whether it's a spell, whether it's bardic inspiration, whether it's advantage, you all may stack it in your favor, but it will only get harder as things progress. If you fail the roll, try not to fail the roll. Put it there.
Oh, fuck.
Or I'm going to call upon you for a DC 16 intelligence check.
Can I bardic inspiration that?
Yes. Any of you can stack the odds in his favor, seeing him struggle. But it can only be one action, bonus action, or reaction to do so. It must be one thing that you do.
Alright. Bonus action, bardic inspiration.
It's a D8, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else that can be leveraged?
What lets you target normal 3 creatures? Can I just target Roar 3 times?
It'll just be once. I will let you have it carry over for each subsequent round. So he would have bless on all 3 rolls, which would free you up to do something else in the next turn if you so choose.
That was kind of what I was aiming for.
Okay, I thought you were going to add 3 d4 instead of 1 d4. Yeah, we can let that slide. 1 spell slot, 3 checks. So, a d8, a d4. Karn, is there anything you can offer?
I have some ideas, but you said this was going to be 3 checks, right?
3 checks.
I think for a DC 15, he's got this.
16, actually.
16.
Okay.
I think he's got this. I'm going to hold off on my contributions until the next round.
Okay. Roar, make your intelligence check, add a d8, add a d4.
All right.
So far, you've exceeded it. Excellent. So, you feel the push against you. You feel the tendrils approaching. Bones, you call out with your bardic inspiration, tapping into those words of power and creation. Leah, you pull upon the power of light from the positive plane to make this happen. The tendrils burn away for but a moment as Roar, you harness that energy and your own and cast it to the ground like a flashbang, and you step forward. The next check is going to be a DC 18. You still have Bless on you.
All right.
Rest of the party, you can still stack.
Give me 1 second.
Can I cast shield as a means to protect myself and the archfey within from the harmful effects to possibly lower the DC?
I would say if you fail, shield will allow you to mitigate whatever happens slightly.
Okay, then I will be casting shield.
You expend some of your internal magic. A shimmering wall of force appears around you.
Yep.
Can I spend an action to just give him a spell slot? I don't have any spells that would be super relevant. Can I just transfer raw magical power to him?
I'll say if you spend a spell slot, you can give him advantage.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll spend a 2nd level spell slot.
Okay. Okay. Anything from Karn?
I can see that this is like magic that's tearing into him, right?
You see that, yeah, magic is attempting to lash at him. There are these tendrils of black, thorny... It's like the briars, but it's shadow.
Okay. Could I'm not sure how this would manifest, but could I invoke my Guardian of Nature and try to take some of the brunt of that force that's tearing into him?
I will say if you invoke that, you can mitigate whatever negative thing may happen slightly, yes. So you can either expend the spell slot or cast the spell if you want to physically have Karn be part of this.
Could double check me. Guardian of Nature has one that boosts your strength, right?
Yes.
What if you were to get behind me and push?
You already have advantage.
I have advantage. Okay, I did not know
You
that
have
yet.
advantage, yeah. So I'll say that still, if whatever should happen if you fail, Karn will share it.
Yeah, I'm not going to go for the strength one. I'm going to invoke the spirit of the great tree and set up an idea I have for next round.
So in Karn's mind, you wouldn't say that he's trying to force his way through, but force it away.
Yes, I'm kind of like trying to move in front of Roar and kind of trailblaze to create a wake for him to follow. And
Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes sense to me. In that case, Roar, roll with advantage and add a d4. That's a crit.
Money! Thank goodness. One in the pool.
We're done with game. There's one in the pool. Fantastic. So as you move forward, you are lashed and battered, and these tendrils try to grab into you. The thorns do not find purchase as you begin to lash at Karn, and he kind of pushes them away, metaphysically straining as you metaphysically strain as well, trying to impose your reality on whatever this is. Very good. So, you can sense the world beyond is close. Tekal is but steps away. You can feel in your heartstone that crystal around your chassis, around your cradle. It's a mixture of excitement and terror. It sees the light through the tunnel and is not afraid.
So, question, GM, is this portal going to put us out? Like, we can see stuff on the other side. Is this going to put us exactly where we came out at or left at?
Give me a perception check. It is hazy. You can see shapes beginning to manifest in form. 20? Yeah, you see the ziggurat. It's very hazy and indistinct, but you can see it just out of reach.
I'd like to call out through the portal because I know that Gallium would be up there and within reach. Gallium!
I need your help!
Aid me!
You call out to Gallium. I've got to dig up his stat block because I organized. One moment. Okay, I've got Gallium on standby. You hear a faint and, indistinct...
Door is open! I'm coming! Hold!
And you hear the trudging of iron boots as you approach. Let me see what his spells are. Alright. So, to that end, you've called out for help. The exit is before you. You can choose to wait for help in all of this, the thick of this. Or you can press forward. But you know, he's a little ways away. It's going to take him a while to get to you.
I am still going to try to move forward.
Try to move forward.
Knowing that it's getting more and more difficult for me to push forward, I'm still going to attempt it. And the call to Gallium was, one of those, I absolutely have to make this through, and if I, start slowing down, I need him to give me the rest of the way.
Oh yeah, he'll be there to he'll be there to catch you possibly. Excellent. So you trundle forward, you push through. Karn, you continue to push forward, trying to make a path. We're going to say, Karn, that you are still there to, if he fails, cushion the fall. Last round is going to be a DC 24.
Yes.
All right. So I will be using the one in the pool, obviously, to make sure I have advantage.
Before you roll, your party members still can use an action, reaction, or bonus action. You still have a D4 on you.
Can I use? So this isn't. I'm breaking magic tonight. That's just what I'm gonna do tonight. Can I use fairy fire to fight back the thorns in the darkness? Can I attack the darkness, please?
You can attack the darkness. I'm going to say that, like Karn, by lashing out and trying to interfere, you'll cushion the fall. Whatever happens, you'll be part of it, which may make it less bad. But it will
another plan for this round.
do something to you if he fails.
In a similar fashion, while I don't have anything specifically in mind about positivity for tropes, can I zap it with positive energy? Because, hey, that's like the opposite of positive stuff.
Zap the darkness, channel your positivity into it, yeah. Like Bones and Karn, you will bear the burden, so a burden split 4 ways if he fails.
I have all 9 of my charges for channel positivity.
I'll allow you to use one. Just one.
I dragged him back.
One channel positivity, one use of fairy fire to link yourself to him. Guardian of Nature links you to him. You're all linked to Roar. You have one less remaining. You have one in the pool.
And I have one more action.
Karn, what's your action? This will occur before what he does.
I am going to raise my shiny mirror shield. I'm going to use it as a focus and burn my last 5th level spell slot to cast Dispel Magic.
Okay. Roar, I'm going to grant you advantage, so you get to roll 3 times.
Okay.
Brings you to a 23.
Just under.
You push.
Intelligence modifier. That last one was just a flat 20.
Oh,
yeah, you're right.
Holy shit!
Yeah, that's a plus 4, so that's a 23, 27.
27. You exceed the check. As you push forward through the archway and into the hot and humid world that you had called home, the door, the light, explodes outward. You roll tumbling forward onto the ground below. Karn, you are thrust out of the doorway. Bones, licked by your own fairy flame, you come tumbling, probably pirouette and land. You're a rogue. Leah, you are cast unceremoniously from the door, as though you are tethered to Roar, as though roped together. His final step explosively pulls you forward. The door closes behind you as you hear the stomping sounds of Gallium. Ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. I'm coming! I'm coming! As he trundles up to you. Roar. You have dodged a total of 18 d12 necrotic damage. Well done. Well done. Very well done. You land on the ground. You catch your breath. Gallium stands before you. Where is fire? You are looking not hurt, but what is this? He attempts to lift you up. He attempts to lift Leah up. Bones, again, acrobatic pirouettes. I'm pretty sure you're fine. Pretty sure Karn would be face down in the dirt. He loves grass.
Yeah. Roar is kind of limp as he's getting helped up because that took a lot to get through.
He gives you a little jostle, a little shake, and make sure that you are standing upright by the time he releases you. Kind of dusts you off and looks the party over. Well, it would seem you had not been permanently spirited away to fair rounds. It's good to have you back. Come. There is much to talk about, and we are quite exposed out here in the grass.
Is the tear safe?
The tear is safe. Everard is watching it.
Ah, good.
He is good boy.
Karn marches towards where the tear is.
Roar eventually steadies himself against Gallium, but genuinely uses Gallium as a crutch all the way back to the ziggurat.
Alright, you guys, one by one, make your way back up to the ziggurat. You begin to climb your way up until you are back in the presence of the moon's tear.
DM,
Yeah,
can I fuck around and find out?
sure.
So, the necklaces. When we talk to each other people can hear, right? It's not like a telepathic thing.
It's like a speakerphone.
It's like a speakerphone. Cool. I want to see if I can play the Song of Home functionally in two different places at the same time.
Okay. So you make your way to the top of the ziggurat, or you stay down at the base of...
I'll make my way to where everyone is, yeah.
You take out your violin, you begin playing, and you activate your stone of communication. Gallium sits down as you guys rest. You express your story. You begin to explain what has happened. First, before you finish playing your song, it's a 10-minute ritual. Roar, you are aware that you still have a passenger with you. And there's excitement and bustling and energy. Like a bird rattling in its cage.
Speaking of passengers, can everyone vacate the hole? Because we have extra shadows.
The folks at the door?
No, the trooplings.
The troopers have not followed you.
No, they didn't follow us when we got into the carriage. Roar wanted to keep the ones that he had, but in in the face of honesty and true dealings in the Feywild, he returns them to the Master of Ceremonies.
Okay, I just making sure because I remembered some of them getting into the hole, but I didn't remember the hole.
Yeah, no, he got them out and let them return to the Master of Ceremonies.
But yeah, Roar, you understand that Robin wants out.
All right. Can I Can I just will her out at this point, or do I have to? Do I feel like I have to do something special?
You believe it's just an action. Just will it to happen.
All right, then I will take a moment, kneel down, and I'll my big clunky arm will grab my chest plate again and peel it back to open up my heart cage.
Gallium looks very concerned as you do this. He kind of like inches back away from you. The watch is on, it doesn't stop you. You expose your cradle to the air, to the real world. Crystal shatters, and the many, many pieces break off into melts of light. That same cerulean blue which gathers and swirls and collects on your arm, taking the form of Robin. Wide-eyed, flustered, and molting, but alive and extremely bouncy, extremely excitable. Change bringers. I thought it impossible, and believed this gamble to more likely result in the end of me than my freedom. Truly, I saw the end before us, before me. That you have risked life, limb, and soul to bring me to freedom speaks volumes. I do not have the means to thank you enough as I am. But I will spend the rest of my days working toward a means to do so. I must away to survey the land and find a means to Astrazalan. Whether by mushroom circle or deepwood or by arcane mastery, or through wild magic itself, I must. And I will sing your praises to any and all who listen. When next we meet, I will have a suitable wound to do so. This I pledge on my life. Thank you. Truly.
You are very welcome.
She looks upon the party. This would not have been possible without all of you. I think it good that you stick together. You are destined for great things, Changebringers. Adieu. She flutters her wings and takes off into the night sky. Bones.
Yeah.
So, you
I got
activate
brand
your-
new. I got brand new Fey magic. Let's fuck around and find out.
brand new fucking Fey magic. You fuck around and you contact Crosp. It is late. He doesn't understand why the magic is working and then why you're able to do this. And I assume you cut him off and get to playing right away.
Yep. I've got about 10 minutes of communication and about 10 minutes of ritual to do. So it's basically just music.
Bones, I mean, the song is... I don't know why I'm crying, but I don't... It's a very good song. I still don't... What the fuck? Bones. Bones! Bones! Why is there a door? And that's what we're gonna call it tonight.
Yes.
Why is there a door?
Thank you guys so much for sticking around until 11 fucking p.m. with me tonight. I'm thankful that you all allowed me to run so long. Lots of stuff to cover in tonight's game, and closing chapters, or starting chapters and character arcs, is not a thing easily done.
I'm so excited to see if Reg will go through the door because Bones doesn't even have the time to tell him to go through the fucking door.
Doesn't even have the time. Well, he is a wizard, so we'll find out. So, to this end, I am going to be taking some time off to finish what I had started with the beginning of the hiatus thing. A couple weeks to go over character sheets, to go over knacks, to go over maps. I had mentioned before I plan on leaning hard into the rest of you to help make this possible. So things like New Haven have to come together. Things like the clubhouse in New Haven have to come together. Where you guys want to take your storylines, how you want to incorporate your backgrounds, and I'm getting full meta, but I do want to collab with all of you to write the next few chapters of this story. In that time, we can continue to move time along through form play or through truncated spitballing of ideas. So if you don't want to roleplay but you want to push a thing, we will push that thing, we'll put it on the form and say, hey, that happened. If you want to get some roleplay in, if you want to have a picnic with a tiefling, looking at you, Mitch, these are things that we can do before starting game. I would like to have a time skip to move some lesser plots forward, like the development of the town and moving people to places, collecting information, tying other loose ends. And so truncated play and form play, I think, would be a good way to get that happen. Unless, of course, you guys object and you would like to continue the relatively slow-paced format that we've been at. I've been sitting on this plot line of Anderbreeze since, I want to say, 3 or 4 months before my injury. So this has been almost a year in the making. I'm fine with playing slow, but if we continue at the pace that we're going, you may not be seeing big changes for quite some time. So that's the bug that I'm putting in your ear collectively. I don't mind taking that time. I think a time skip would be cool. Thoughts?
I think it depends on the time skip. Like the amount of time.
That's something that I'd like to spitball, and I do understand, like, no one is going to go for a year has passed, and this has happened. I'm also down with the idea of, like, functionally, we're moving ahead a couple months, but we have a series of little vignettes, little things that happen live. Like, covering a year of play in one session. That's fucking crazy. I'm down to trying that.
I don't think Alina would wait a year to rescue her mother.
That is true. That is true. But I could see her spending time to gather information about it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's an option. But please, I want to see discussion in group chat. I want to see what you guys want to do, what you'd like to play out, whether you'd like to handle this, not West March style, but like quest line style. Like we run a quest, we take some time, we do like a time skip in game, we do another quest, skip the travel kind of deal. Because you guys have everything that you need at your fingertips to essentially get anywhere and everywhere. You've got the folding boat, you've got a small army, and you got some mushrooms.
Cool.
The only thing that's time pressing for Leah is she's got some ducklings to wrangle up and get out of Dodge.
You've got the engineers, which technically could be seen as property. So, pulling back the curtain, I don't know if any of you have clocked just what opportunity is in front of you. Having a home to go to, and neighbors who are willing to do heavy labor for you.
Oh, as far as moving shit into there for the... Yeah, no, Bones has clocked it.
Cool. Great. Yeah.
Bones will definitely take advantage of this situation.
No uncertain terms then. We're on the same page. Cool. Cool then.
Bones will leave this fucking ziggurat empty except everything except for the most dangerous books, and then be like, "No, that was what was here when we got here."
That's all there is, man. Yeah, you can fuck over some devils if you want.
I'm sure that will definitely not have long-term side effects.
Yeah, you won't have like a forget my number situation from Cherish. We'll see. Okay, cool. So, I don't think I have anything else to go over. You've got a clubhouse, you've got transportation, you've got minions, you've got a town. I think that's all the stuff that you should have for a 10th level game. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for playing.
Thank you very much
Thank you for running.
Yeah, this has been fun. Coffee worked. Cool bees.